This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.
Welcome to What's News Dunedin, brought to you by DOS Turkish Cafe, the radio show that spawned from the 24,000 plus strong local Oti-Poti Dunedin What's News Dunedin Facebook group. The group that's been putting the social back into social media since 2020 with respectful adult debate and a sense of humour. I'm your host Richard Knights. On today's show we're talking to our wonderful guest Tamsin Braisher, a Wikimedian in residence, who'll be telling us a bit more about themselves and what they do, as well as helping us look back at the posts that have generated the most interactions on the last 7 days on the What's News Dunedin Facebook group. And those posts this week are Councillor Joe Gaylor going viral for zooming into this week's council meeting from the bathroom. Councillor Ong barely lasting 20 minutes in that very same meeting before being kicked out for bringing the meeting into disorder. And a rare snow day in Oti-Poti and a man skiing down Baldwin Street. Welcome to the show, Tamsin.
Thank you, Richard. It's lovely to be here.
Now, before we get into that serious news stuff, we have a Punday Monday post on our page, right, where I just basically get people to bring their best jokes, like to start the week off with a bit of a giggle. Nothing scientific about it. Whatever joke gets the most laugh reacts, and we all love laugh reacts on social media, I bring it on the show on a Friday. So what we do then is we see if that joke comes off the page and into the spoken word, and whether it actually gets a giggle or a groan or something, or some kind of reaction. So this week's post is from one of our one of our super punners. He Max Reed. He wins this a lot of the time. I want to put a call out there to everyone that's listening. We can beat Max. Like, bring your best puns next week. This is a challenge. Like, Max, he's kind of getting a little bit blasé about the whole thing. I think he's sitting there going, another one that I've won. Anyway, this week's pun from Max was, I came so close to being fired from the helium factory when we decided to use the gas to make a bomb. We laughed about it at the time. In the end, I left the job anyway. I didn't like the tone of voice the boss used when he was talking to me. It's a groaner, isn't it? It is. It's a proper groaner.
Dunedin, we can do better.
Max, you can do better. So anyway, we'll see what we end up with next week. Anyway, so now, and before we get started on the news, we always do my 3 pop questions. So these are the questions that I believe, and it's only happening in my own head here, that I believe get under the skin of my guests, so to the point where we forget the second half of the show. We kind of get everything we need out of these 3 questions at the beginning, right? The second half of the show, we talk about you, is actually just extras. So first question: cream teas, where you have a scone, you have jam, you have cream. What goes on the scone first, the jam or the cream?
That is very hard. My mother grew up in Devon,
Ooh.
Right? So she had very strong opinions.
Does she?
But my grandparents lived in Cornwall when I was growing up, and I used to go and stay with them. So they do it differently. And I'm at the point in my life where I can't remember who does it which way. My personal preference is actually cream first and jam on top. Because although the cream is slippery, it really should be clotted cream.
It should be clotted cream.
And then it's less slippery, and that works better.
That's the Devon way.
Right.
It's also
also
the wrong way. Because the Cornish way, which is jam first, clotted cream second, and I love clotted. I like the fact you can almost slice clotted cream, and then you just put it a big slice on top. I love cream's my thing. Like if I have puddings purely to have cream. Like I don't. If I can't have cream with it, I'm not having pudding. Don't care. Like
let's not talk to a doctor. Yeah.
No, I hate to see what the inside of my arteries look like. But anyway, and I could drink like cream just on its own. But anyway, so cream goes on second. So and obviously that's that big question in Devon and Cornwall.
But have you done it side by side? Because when I've done it side by side, I actually found I preferred the jam on top. So that's why I do it that way. Not because of any aesthetic or historical importance, but I just prefer it to eat.
I can kind of get where you come from, like with like an experiment, because I'm very science minded. But there's certain things I can't look at that and do. I can't make it that like that, right? Like because I wouldn't be able to do it. Like my OCD brain wouldn't let me. Like to the point like
there's just a right way and a wrong way.
At the office, we've got this wonderful office manager at our office who makes a cup of tea with a sort of keep warm cup, and literally just puts the tea bag in the bottom, pours the milk in the bottom. Pours the water in and then takes it down her desk and lets it become a cup of tea downstairs.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
You can see me wincing.
I know. I couldn't do that. But not only couldn't I do that, is that when she left her cup the other day, and I thought I'll make her a cup. I thought I can't make her cup of tea the way she wants to have a cup of tea be made. I just can't. Couldn't,
Even though you know what she wants,
I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah.
If I had to make a cup of tea, I'd have to make it my way. All right?
It sounds like something you might need to deal with, Richard. I'm sure a counsellor might be able to.
I think at my age, I think it's beyond dealing with, to be completely fair. I'm just very stuck in my ways, clearly. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And then, anyway, that's by the by. Second question. Who is your favourite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle?
I don't have one. I'm sorry. I'm. There's probably a bracket of us of a particular age who they didn't appeal to me at the age when they appeared, and I never engaged with them.
Do you know who they are?
I've heard of them. I know what they look like. I was aware of them as a phenomenon, but I can't name them.
All Renaissance painters. So Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo. And you got to pick one. Just on name.
I mean, Donatello is a nice name, but don't know what I'm picking there.
Unlike the first question, there's no wrong answers with this one, so you're on a winner regardless.
You see, you say no wrong answers, but I bet you there's someone out there that feels about these the way that you feel about cream cheese.
Well, quite possibly, but on my show, there is no wrong answers to all the turtles are cowabunga rad. That's it. It's just totally cool. So anyway, third and final question, and this one's a thinker. So would you rather be able to speak any language you wanted or play any instrument that you wanted?
I'm really attracted to the idea of playing any instrument I wanted, but knowing how well I play an instrument, that's probably not the answer. I actually would really love to be able to speak any language. And that feeds into wiki stuff, right? Because Wikipedia is available in 300 something languages. And I've just come back from a conference talking to lots of Wikimedians, and it's just being able to talk to people in their own language would be amazing.
So I'd go for the other. Because I learned to play the piano a bit when I was a kid, and I'm rubbish at it. Like I'm just.
So you'd like to be able to play more instruments, rubbish?
No, I'm assuming when it says play an instrument you wanted, that it's because I can play an instrument I want now. I just will play it really, really badly.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was. Yeah.
I'm assuming that this means like you actually play it well. So you'd be good at, you pick up an instrument and go, oh, it's a viola. I can play the viola.
That would be an amazing skill. People that can do that are so impressive.
See, I've got a friend who literally is the best piano player I've ever met in my entire life, and you literally hum him 3 bars of a song, and he will then suddenly have the whole song. Because he knows how in his brain music is constructed in a way that he just knows how to play it, which is like just blows my mind. And I'm forever in awe of him. He can also speak multiple languages,
so he can do both. Actually, he's got the best of both.
He's got one of mine. He's got one of my answers out of this. But he genuinely and like I can sing. I can hold a tune, right? But I would love to be able to do the music thing, because at the other side of it, I'm a reasonable communicator, so I can always get my message across, regardless of what language we're speaking. People understand me, if that makes sense, and I kind of tend to understand people. So I think the instruments thing for me. Yeah. But I can see the wow of the languages too. Like
they'd both be amazing. There's no wrong answer here, is there?
No, there's no wrong answer. It's just a preference. Unlike the scones, where there's no such thing as a preference, there is a right and wrong answer. So I think that's where where the difference in those two questions.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the news. Now, Joe Gaylor, Councillor Joe Gaylor, council meeting on Monday, fairly weighty topic on the agenda, pretty much the only topic on the agenda, which was kind of, again, forced on them by things that happened last week about the government, central government's turned around and said, you've got to merge with someone. Like we'll give you 3 minutes. Like we want you to just decide to merge with some other council, bring a proposal to us, and hey presto, it'll all be done in 4 seconds, and then it'll be done. So there's a huge amount of pressure from central government to do something that no one really knows quite what the consequences and what those and the actual ramifications are. And that was what they were debating on Monday. That was pretty much the only item, and there was a confidential item, whichever that was, behind closed doors. Turns out that Councillor Joe Gaylor happens to be somewhere else in the world and zoomed into the meeting, which is absolutely fantastic of them to be doing that in the first instance, right? They've gone on holiday, whatever it might be. They've seen the importance of the meeting, therefore they want to be part of it. I have hats off to that, right? Because it's quite easy to go, I'm on holiday.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Who wants to work when they're on holiday?
And I believe they're on holiday in the UK, so time zone wise, they're the other end of the clock as well, you know. So it'd be very easy for them to go, seriously, I'm on holiday. I'm not. This is not this is not going to be priority for me. But then when the camera came on, they were sitting in the bathroom. And not just sitting in the bathroom, they had like laundry on the
I've seen the pictures
on the thing behind them, and then what looked like a shower door behind them. Someone looked like they were in the shower behind them as well. Like so at one point, this figure comes through and then looks to open the door, and you can tell it's a shower door, not a bathroom door, because of the nature of the door furniture, the handles, and the fact there was something hanging over the top of the door. You can just kind of catch the top of it, and then you look at that and kind of go, "Why?"
Yeah, it was an odd decision. I'd love to know the room setup that required that that decision.
I mean, she might have been locked in the bathroom, so it was the only
Let's
thing.
hope not.
Well, that's the only thing that she could have. But her previous job was a communications manager, and again, it's one of those things. You look at that and kind of go, communications manager. You would have thought you'd been on a number of Zoom calls. You would have thought you'd know the button that blurred your background or gave you a different background. You would have thought that you would know that's if I was to write a list, and I've said this to my family. I said, if we all sit down in a room, like get my whole family, there's about 100 of us, like a whole family, sit down, get everyone to write a top 10 list of all the places where you shouldn't take a video call. Yeah. I can guarantee that in the bathroom, on the toilet, in the shower would be in everyone's top 3.
Yeah.
Everyone's.
I mean, when I heard she'd taken a call from the bathroom, my immediate thought was, why? The acoustics would be terrible. Acoustics in most bathrooms are awful.
Maybe that's why she was hanging the laundry to deaden, like the egg box effect on the walls. Maybe there was some method in that madness.
I'd have thought she might have said if that was the case, though. Yeah.
I think she probably would have done.
And towels would have been more an obvious choice.
But interestingly, when she came back on later on, she'd found the blur button. Which again, there's lots going on in your head at this point in time. You just kind of go, and she's gone viral. Like she's gone worldwide. Like it's all over TikTok. It's all over.
It's such a weird thing.
It's made the BBC. It's made the BBC. It's made Fox News. It was the most viewed video on Fox News.
Are we starved for weird Zoom call stories? Like we had a lot of them during COVID. The children entering the interview and all that sort of stuff. And maybe
absolutely.
we feel like we needed a resurgence.
Weird cat filters on people that didn't know they had cat filters on and stuff like that. I thought we were beyond that. I thought once after seeing the back end of COVID, I thought we were probably, beyond that and kind of going, we've seen everything we need to see on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
But this just seemed very strange. And the worst thing about this is like whilst TikTok's always there for everyone, but you kind of flash in the pan, you're kind of gone. This is on public record. This is a public council meeting, which has already now got 5 times as many views for any council meeting that's ever been held, right? Because like most people don't tune into council meetings.
No.
I was tuning into that one because it's one of the things that sort of put interest me, and I'll put that in inverted commas, but it does make you wonder, and they've been silent ever since. And I get that they're on holiday, actually. Like so, like if they're there's no requirement for them to make comment like while they're away. But it just seemed like the strangest thing in the world to do. And like it's communication 101. Never take a phone call in the bathroom. Don't even take a phone call. Don't and definitely don't take a video call.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on that? It's like it's very strange.
Yeah, I don't know. It is odd. People have done more odd things probably. I think it's kind of a shame that this council meeting has become so well known for such a silly thing.
For the wrong thing.
When, I haven't actually heard what the outcome of the discussion was or the content or the comments that were made and all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's there if I look for it. But
but that's barely been covered.
This picture and this Zoom call, the nature of it is much more well known.
There's a cartoon in the Herald today.
Oh gosh,
right, of Christopher Luxon sitting in the bathroom on a Zoom call. Right, that's where it's gone. Right, so it's like it's now we're now parodying our central government. So he's sitting in the bathroom talking about I think it's about the MMP thing that he was talking about. But literally, they've got the undies in the background at ACT and Winston First are hanging from the thing, but it's, you've kind of gone like this is fed.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all the wrong reason stuff. And talking about all the wrong reason stuff, Councillor Wrong, who has been in the news since his inauguration to council for all the wrong reasons, almost all of the time. Again, this meeting just literally decided for whatever reason he was just going to be the most aggressive, angry, talk over everyone, and got called points of order, wouldn't listen to the points of order. One of the things in points of order, like if anyone knows anything about a council meeting, and most people probably don't, is that if someone calls a point of order, the chair rules on the point of order. You don't get to argue it. You don't get to put your case forward. Someone says, I think that's wrong because, and then the other person shuts up while the chair goes, no, I agree with you or I don't agree with you. But council doesn't allow that. He starts arguing his case, and then and then won't shut up to have the point of order ruled against, and got warned, and then got kicked out. So you've got this really important meeting that's been overshadowed by two separate councillors doing some very strange things.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, these are public processes that decide really important issues, and these are distractions.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know what Councillor Ong's motivations are, but he is constantly doing things that get him in the news for his behaviour rather than because of anything to do with the issue.
For his work or his work ethic.
Yeah. And that's frustrating. I don't know why he's there or what he thinks he's achieving.
Well, again, the other comment that came as he was being reprimanded for like just not being quiet is the sense that, again, there's this thing in standing orders called question time, right? You put staff in the hot seat, or you put experts in the hot seat, and then you ask them questions, right? It's not an opportunity to make a political statement or to make a speech or to grandstand. You get that opportunity once the questions are asked. So everyone around the table then gets the opportunity to speak if they wish to do so, and then there's no questions involved in that, right? Councillor Ong seems to misunderstand that process. But he's been doing this for 9 months, but instead of asking a question, he just launches into a speech about all the things he wants to talk about. And he's forever getting pulled on it. You'd have thought by now he would have gone, this is question time, right? But he hasn't. But what he also has been made quite clear is that when he's actually arrived at the meeting, he's picked up his papers to read on the way in, which means he hasn't read the content of the notes, and they're quite copious. The reading for each meeting is quite significant in order to make the right decision at the meeting. So he's not even doing the fundamental basics of his role in even the most smallest of senses, but yet runs to social media and says that he's standing up for the people. Well, if you're not reading your material, you're not. And it's not the first time the mayor has said, like, you only picked up your papers on the way into the meeting. And we sat down and we started talking about it. How he's got a swathe of notes. Like he's not reading it.
Yeah.
So how's he
contributing? Yeah.
How's he forming a decision? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, I don't know what the average Dunedin person, when they vote in a council election, is considering.
I would argue very little. I mean, I've run for council. I've run for council a few times.
I know.
And didn't get in. But I look at that one. This is what frustrates me: is I look at those people there doing that and thinking, well, I could do a Zoom call properly, and I could read my notes properly, and I could understand that questions are questions and speeches are speeches. I could do that. Like I feel slightly aggrieved, like genuinely when I'm watching it, thinking I could probably, not saying I could do the job better, but the fundamentals of the job.
You would engage with the process.
I would absolutely be doing the process better.
Yeah.
Even if I was the worst counsellor around the table, I would still be in my brain doing the things I'm supposed to do.
I mean, for me, I want my councillors, even if I don't agree with their political standings or the choices that they might make, I still want them to engage constructively in the council process and to be there to try and achieve something. I want them to have an idea of what Dunedin could be and a plan for how that can be achieved. And the job of council is to work together to make that happen for all of us. And if we've got people there whose purpose to being there is something different, whatever that might be, then it's not constructive, and it can hold everybody up and stop decisions. And I mean, it's frustrating as a voter to see this kind of behaviour.
Agreed. Now, move on to the final topic of the week, which is much more fun. Snow day. We had a snow day. I do not remember the last time we had a snow day it
was a while ago,
Wiki-Wiki-WOW. I did notice on my Facebook, my birthday last Friday on the 31st, and it popped up on my Facebook memories that we'd had snow in Brighton on that day 10 years ago.
Oh gosh,
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
It didn't settle. We just had it was falling, but we actually had snow that settled to sea level at Brighton.
Yeah,
which was like stunning. And then all the schools closed.
Yes,
which was brilliant.
It was fantastic.
My wife's work closed, which is even better for her. But I wasn't going to let her go in anyway. Like genuinely, it would have been dangerous, and there's no point putting yourself in harm's way.
Yeah, I always appreciate the earlier the schools communicate their closure and workplaces, the better. I think the high schools were later to announce that they were closing, and that was a frustration for me because up until they announced it I saw it at like 24 minutes past 8, which is really late, right? Up until they announce it, there's still that pressure of, well, maybe you should go. Maybe your kids should be there, or the school is expecting them to be. And yet, and there's pressure on the teachers to be there as well if the school is open. And
it's a dangerous pressure. We shouldn't do it. I said to my wife, I said, who's gonna if work make you go in? And then I said they won't because I'm telling them you're not going, even before they close work. And that was, but I said, who's paying for the car if it gets broken? Who's paying for your injuries if it gets broken? What if it's worse than that? What if it's a fatal accident? Right? Yeah. I said, you're not going in. She said, I've got to go to work. I said, no, you haven't. You've got to stay alive. You've got to stay safe. That's what. Because even if you drive the best in the world, even if you've got the best four-wheel drive in the world, you've got the best snow chains and tyres and all that kind of. It's about the other person that doesn't have any of that collides with you. And
it's
those kind of things.
Dangerous. Dunedin's amazingly dangerous in snowy or icy, frosty conditions.
And for one day, it ain't worth it.
Yeah, and it was so much fun to stay home.
Oh, I know. And then some lunatic skied down Baldwin Street. What is that all about? I look at that, to me, I'm looking at that kind of going, where do you stop at the end? It's like,
That's what I was worried about. So one of my kids, I won't mention names, but one of my kids hadn't experienced a lot of snow in her life. So we were sledging down the little street opposite us, which comes out on a reasonably busy road. So, of course, keeping a strong eye out for traffic. And luckily there was so little that it was fine. But you've also got to think about where you stop. Yeah. And at the bottom of Baldwin, it's, busiest road. I hope they had someone down there spotting them.
Well, you think so. Someone said to me, how does he stop? And I said, he hasn't. He's just heading south past Gore. Let's just keep going, wouldn't you? You're just gone. Just a couple of bumps and just flat out to Gore. Yeah. So, but I've got nothing but admiration and a little bit of scratching my head as an older person now, like when people do stuff like that,
I'm a little bit more risk averse than I would have been, but I can understand, if you're confident in your skills or you're a young risk taker, that's an attractive idea. I'm glad they were all right.
Oh, absolutely. But I think one of the radio stations caught up with whoever it was. They managed to find him because there was this big thing afterwards. Who the hell is this person? We need to talk to him. But I just keep thinking about when I've been skiing, right? And to stop, you need an element of flat, and you need an element of more snow, and genuinely, the actual covering on the roads wasn't exactly. It was barely. It was barely
slushy.
Exactly, it was barely an icing sugar kind of coating, and you're kind of going what? I'm just thinking I wouldn't want to try and do it. I wouldn't want to try and do my sort of snow plow or whatever, and go down that hill because Just the thought. I think as I'm getting older, I'm definitely getting more risky. But mind you, my back and my knees and everything else wouldn't let me do that kind of thing anyway. To be completely fair, so
yes,
but not something you'd want to do.
Oh, definitely not. Well, I don't ski for a start, but no, I look at the kayakers on the Leith when it's flooding, and go, oh, they're crazy.
Yes, I do as well.
All those kinds of things.
But then again, it's weird because you look at Leith and go, well, that's just stupid. But then you go on the Clutha or something where and it's still the same. It's the same conditions, but it's normal conditions. Yes. And you look at them and go, that's fantastic. So I think actually that kind of they're doing it because they're skillful enough to be doing it.
And if you're skillful enough to do it, you can probably make that risk assessment about whether it's smart or not.
I've got a couple of my nephews are fantastic kayakers. My brother's an awesome kayaker. He's kayaked all his life, and but his kids are competition type level, and I'd be totally comfortable watching them on the Leith, whether or on just some kind of whitewater rapid type thing elsewhere. But it's as soon as you see it's the start. Yeah, but I wouldn't want to see them kayaking down Baldwin Street though.
No, well, if there's that much rain, we've got bigger problems than whether someone's kayaking.
True. It'll be bigger things to think about. Now, I want to talk about you, but before we do, I'm going to get a quick word from our wonderful new sponsor.
Dost Turkish Cafe serves authentic Turkish and Middle Eastern food, made with love, right in the heart of the city. Kebabs, shawarma, loaded fries and more, all made fresh to order using quality ingredients. Their family recipe falafel is a favourite, and they're the only place in Dunedin serving their popular cheesy baked potatoes loaded with your choice of fillings. Generous portions keep people coming back for more. Dost Turkish Cafe, just up from the Octagon at 15 Princess Street. Dine in, takeaway and delivery.
Have you eaten at Dost?
I haven't, but that ad's made me hungry. That might be where I have lunch.
It's literally out. You go out the door, hang a right, just after Subway. It's there.
Yeah.
Fantastic people, lovely people, lovely food. I had some food there last week. I do like a kebab. So I like food full stop. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm sort of driven by my stomach. So all my sponsors on this show have been food.
Yeah, fair enough. You got to eat.
Exactly, and I appreciate it as well. So now let's talk about you, Tamsin.
Sure.
So you were introduced to me by a friend of ours, a mutual friend, Sophie Sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
It is Sophie, isn't it?
It is Sophie.
Yeah.
Yes,
So suddenly, as soon as I said it, I thought, is it Sophie? Is it Sophie?
It is
Is it
Sophie,
Sophia? As a Wikimedian in residence.
Yes.
So for all of these people out there that probably don't know what that is, because I don't, perhaps you can give us the kind of 5-minute Cliff Notes non-Wikipedia version, because sometimes those Wikipedia pages go on forever. Right? Give us the give us the non-Wiki-Wiki on your good self and how you got to this kind of crown of glory
What a lovely way of putting it.
of Wikipedia.
Yeah. So yes, I'm the Wikimedian in residence at the University of Otago for this year, till the end of the year. And it came about for a number of reasons. But what it means, so I call myself a Wikimedian, not a Wikipedian. And that's really a conversation starter, because if you say Wikipedian, everyone knows, oh, you edit Wikipedia. But there are 13 wiki projects besides, well, including Wikipedia, right? There's Wikidata, which is a massive linked database that sits behind Wikipedia and connects all sorts of things. There's Wikimedia Commons, which is our massive public image library. There's Wikisource for transcribing out of copyright books. There's lots of different projects. And so calling myself a Wikimedian opens up the conversation about those other projects besides just Wikipedia.
So how do you become a Wikimedian? How do you become a Wikipedian? Like, give me some background about you, because you're obviously in the university. Give me some background about how you got to where that journey started.
So I've been a volunteer editor, and I did start my editing journey on Wikipedia, like many people do. So I was sitting at home one day, and I had read this children's book. It was called The Striped Ships by Eloise McGraw. You can look it up on Wikipedia. As of today, it has a Wikipedia page. But in 2018, I sat down to write this Wikipedia page because I looked up the author on Wikipedia. Some of her other books had pages about the books, but this one didn't. And I thought, well, I've heard anyone can edit. Let's give it a go. So I wrote this page and I published it, and it immediately got deleted because I didn't demonstrate that the book was what they call notable. So I didn't demonstrate that this was an important enough book to have its own Wikipedia page. And so that page hasn't existed from 2018 until now. When I've gone back, I had it undeleted and I reviewed it and discovered that, yes, it is notable. I can make a page for it. But in between times, I didn't give up. I kept on editing. I learned about what makes a notable item for Wikipedia and how to make a page. And then at some point, I took over keeping a list of women professors updated. So there'd been an editor in Wellington who used to make thousands of Wikipedia articles. And what he used to do was, one of the projects he did was women professors in New Zealand. So basically, by the time you've become a full professor at a university, you've basically met the requirements to have a Wikipedia page about you. So he would make them. Because we have this massive gap on Wikipedia, women are underrepresented. At the moment, there's 20% of biographies are about women. And we all know, we're about 50% of the population.
Absolutely.
So it's a huge gap.
And more important, most of the time.
I'm biased, but yes. So he used to do this work, but he was looking to hand it off to someone. And I couldn't commit to making all those Wikipedia pages because it was quite a lot of editing to do those. But I just said I'd keep the list up to date. And so for several years, I kept the list up to date of who all the women professors were in New Zealand. And it just got longer and longer, the number who didn't have Wikipedia pages. So at the beginning of 2024, I sat down and went, I'm going to do one page every single day for this year to get the list under control. And I tried it out for January and it seemed achievable. So I did a new Wikipedia page for a woman every day. And I ran out of professors and then started working on other people. And I mean, you have the freedom to work on whatever you like on Wikipedia. So, but they were all women for a whole year. And then I did an extra one. And of course, it was a leap year. So there were 367 articles in total, which was really satisfying. And Sophie got me an ODT article. I did an interview with John Lewis about that project. And because of that, it gave me something to talk to the university about and go, you know what? You need a Wikipedian in residence or a Wikimedian or whatever. You need someone to talk to staff and students about how to engage with Wikipedia, how to get research covered better on Wikipedia, how to brush up some of the university pages because some of them are in a terrible state. And just, advising people how to engage with it, how we could release images that can be used on Wikipedia, things like that. Because most people have never met a Wikipedian and they don't really know how it gets made, how it gets built, and how they can actually contribute to it rather than just using it as a reader.
Because for me, Wikipedia is a place where if I do a Google search, I find an article, it's on Wikipedia, I go and have a look at it, it gives me some information. It gives me a whole load of citations down the bottom normally.
Very good.
Which is quite cool. And then I kind of use that information and go somewhere else. And like the trouble is, if you then go and try and quote that information to someone on social media for a start, you always get the scoff that comes with it. It's like Wikipedia, people make that up themselves. So how do you get around that?
Yeah, so that's just a misunderstanding, really, about how Wikipedia works. So one of the things I've developed at the university was an activity called Can I Trust Wikipedia? So I was asking students at the start of the year with polls in the library, what had their teachers told them about Wikipedia? Had they ever used Wikipedia and in what ways? And what came out of that was this general understanding of anyone can edit it, so I can't trust it, right? Which is more or less what I'm hearing from you. And that's a really common view, but I don't want people to think that. That's not really true. Anyone can edit it, yes, but we have a whole heap of processes that mean actually most of it is trustworthy. And in fact, there are signals to tell you when maybe something is a little bit dodgy, right? And I wanted people to understand that. So I made a little card game called Can I Trust Wikipedia? To help people sort, it presents the features of Wikipedia, things like we have an anti-vandalism patrol, we have warning templates to say this page hasn't got any citations or things like that. And then, features like that, and you sort them into things that increase trust and things that decrease trust, just to get students thinking about, a bit more critically about what they're reading. And I was recently really lucky to get that turned into an electronic game. So it's, it's online now and anyone can sort these cards into, what features help trust information on Wikipedia and what don't. And obviously citations to reliable sources is a big part of it. If you find opinions and unsourced statements and value statements like this is the best thing ever on a Wikipedia page, you probably shouldn't trust it. Those things don't belong. That's not Wikipedia policy. So if you find statements like that, that probably means that page may not have been reviewed by a lot of editors and perhaps needs a bit of an overhaul.
So how many pages are there?
Oh,
have you counted
in
them?
English, there's about 7.5 million at the moment.
Right.
It goes up and down, of course. Pages are getting deleted as well as created. They're getting merged and so on. But Wikipedia is available in more than 320 languages.
I didn't know there were 320 something languages until you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you said it earlier, and I was thinking I could probably struggle to get about 20 different languages. Like maybe I'm letting myself down a little bit. Maybe I could do more, but 320. That's huge.
It is, isn't it? It's huge. It's massive.
That's got to be all the languages, surely? Or is there more languages on top of that?
No, so there's a whole process for getting a Wikipedia in your language. You have to kind of show commitment and that you have enough community to maintain it. Yeah. And write a baseline of content and that kind of thing. So there's kind of an incubator system for different languages. But there are, I don't know how many languages there are in the world, but there's an awful lot more than 320.
There's not more than 320 countries in the world. There's something like 200 and something countries. So again, this is just kind of messing with my brain.
There are some countries with very many languages.
With many languages, which is again.
Think of the indigenous languages in Australia. There's quite a few.
True.
Yeah.
Is there a Wikipedia page that lists all the languages in the world?
There's bound to be, but I haven't actually looked for it. What you can see, so a good starting point for this kind of thing is the actual Wikipedia page about Wikipedia.
Right.
Which is one of my favourite pages because it's very meta, right? Wikipedians trying to write independently from verified independent sources about Wikipedia on Wikipedia, right? It's kind of crazy.
So they call that the Wikipedia paradox. Is that...
No one's given it a name that I know of.
I just did.
But yeah, there you go. It's now called that.
Will you now go and edit that page?
I don't know that your opinion is a reliable source, Richard. It is verifiable when this is put out as a podcast.
The amount of times I've heard that in my life, Tamsin, is if I had $1 for every time that your opinion is not a reliable source, Richard, I think I wouldn't need to do these kind of shows for free. I'd be rolling around like Scrooge McDuck in like gold and stuff. But unfortunately, that's where we're at. But it's verifiable because I said it.
It is true. Well, it's verifiable because it's recorded, yes,
recorded.
and then publicly available.
Publicly available. So, and internationally because this goes out on Spotify.
Oh my goodness!
So, like, I feel like I'm pushing for my own Wikipedia page. So, how does a person have a Wikipedia page? How does that happen? Do they write them themselves?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it does happen that people write them for themselves, but that is against policy, and if it was noticed, as soon as it's noticed that you've done that, you'll get this great big warning template at the top of your page that says someone closely connected with the subject has edited this page, which is one of our ways of telling you this might not be objective.
Right.
And there'll be groups of editors that go through those sorts of pages looking to see, does this belong? Is it objective? Is it written the way that a third party would write it? So yeah, there's a conflict of interest process. So you're not allowed to write a page about yourself. You shouldn't edit a page about yourself if it exists. People do get in trouble for that.
Okay.
So there's a process. So I don't know if you've noticed on Wikipedia, every article has another page behind it called the talk page.
Yeah.
And that is where you're allowed to post. If you
I have because I did try to edit a Wikipedia page once.
Fantastic. Okay, well, we can talk about that. What did you edit?
I'll not tell you what page I edited, but I did try to edit a page, knowing very clearly that the information that I had was not only verifiable via citation, but was also I'd verified it elsewhere as well, but not able to stop, but I'd verified it with the source. And I changed the page, and then it was deleted, and it was put back to being incorrect. So I then went and changed it again, and provided more source. To be thinking, I haven't obviously clearly expressed And
so the source was something someone else could check. It's a book or an article. Or...
Yeah, it was an article. It was a media article.
Yeah,
right?
Excellent.
So I went back. To edit it again to correct the miscorrection, however you might call it, and it was deleted and removed again. And I went back a third time to make it was a reasonably simple edit, and verifiably correct the way I'd done it. And I was on that talk page as well, like I could see people in that, and then it was removed the third time and I gave up.
Was there any discussion on the talk page about why? Did you open a?
I didn't want to get too. I didn't want to.
You don't have to.
Because of the fact that at this point in time, I provided all the sources where people could check, and it got removed.
Yeah.
3 times, and it's now, as far as I know, it's still incorrect.
Yeah. So you can tell me afterwards what page. I'm curious about it. So probably what was happening, like obviously without knowing the page, without knowing who's involved or what was really going on. I can only guess, but if there was no discussion on the talk page about it, I'm suspecting they would have put something in their edit summary. So every time you'd have noticed when you try and edit a Wikipedia article and you make a change, it then pops up with a little window asking you to describe what you changed, and we call that the edit summary.
Yep.
And so I'm suspecting when they reverted your changes, when they changed it back to the way it was, they probably put an explanation in their edit summary. So if you look back at the history of the page, you'll be able to see their edit summaries to see what they were saying, because sometimes people try and communicate with a new editor that way, and it's a bit harder for you as a new editor to see.
Yeah, I gave up quite quickly after that because I thought I just like actually.
Well, it's frustrating, isn't it, when you know something's wrong and you can't change it.
Because I thought I'd try it out, like just as someone that's actually, I'm a firm believer in the truth. Like, it's my facts are my thing. All right, so at the end of the day, I'm like, if I see something that's wrong, I want to correct it. Right, I'm awful when it comes to spelling
Had you made an
mistakes.
account when you made these changes, or did you do it without?
No, I'd created an account. I'd created an account and a username and all that kind of stuff, and I'd kind of gone down. I'd gone down the road thinking, well, I know better, so I'll.
I mean, and that's great.
I'll do my bit.
So lots of people try and make a change to a page without creating an account, but when you're doing it that way, you're kind of red flagged for vandalism. It doesn't mean that your edit will get reverted, but, if you haven't made an account, it's a warning sign, and so you get scrutinised a bit more. I can only guess that someone thought the edit you were making was disruptive or against policy in some way, but without knowing what the policy is, I can't really say. Mistakes are made. Everybody's human. You obviously know that what you were trying to change was correct, but somebody disagreed with you enough to change it 3 times. So that would be interesting to explore. It's not an uncommon situation, but normally there's a way around it as long as you can discuss it. Yeah. So the thing is to go to the talk page and go, this is still wrong, and here's why, and why are you changing it back? Yeah. Otherwise, you just end up in what we call an edit war, which is no fun for anybody. No, and that's what I kind of could see happening. And kind of go, well, how many references do I have to provide in order for you to actually read those references and see that those references are actually factually correct before I just kind of go, oh, maybe I won't bother. But the thing was, and I guess this is the other side of that, was that it then discouraged me from doing anything further. Yes, yeah. Oh, I can see why it would. Because I was like, stuff it. I won't. Yeah. I'm not going to bother because it takes time. Yeah. Like it takes time and effort, and it's frustrating when you don't get changes made. But I think it's even more frustrating when you don't have an explanation. So when you don't know why something was reverted. So when my first page was deleted, at least because I'd done it from an account, I did get a message on my talk page explaining to me why I hadn't demonstrated it was notable, and here is where our criteria are for when a book can have a page and when it can't. And I could see instantly, oh yeah, I didn't meet that. Okay, so that was easier. What would that be? Like, for example, if an author is Wikipedia relevant, why wouldn't every one of their books be automatically Wikipedia relevant? Does that make sense? Yeah. Well, so basically, if you think about it, we probably haven't got space to have a Wikipedia page for every book in the world. So how do we decide which ones do and which ones don't? And basically, because Wikipedia is an encyclopedia, what that means is we're a summary of all the information in other identified, reliable independent sources, right? So we're looking for awards that a book might have won, significant reviews that it's had, scholarship about the book. So if you go and look at some of the really well-known books in the world, if you look at Lord of the Rings and things like that, you'll find all sorts of information about how important the book is. So it's other people in the world saying this is an important book. So basically, the notability criteria are lots of things that, are sort of dividing that up into things like awards or, ways that we can tell the world thinks this is an important thing. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does, absolutely. I've got some more questions for you. But before we do, let's get another quick word from our wonderful sponsor. Dost Turkish Cafe serves authentic Turkish and Middle Eastern food made with love right in the heart of the city. Kebabs, shawarma, loaded fries and more, all made fresh to order using quality ingredients. Their family recipe falafel is a favourite, and they're the only place in Dunedin serving their popular cheesy baked potatoes loaded with your choice of fillings. Generous portions keep people coming back for more. Dost Turkish Cafe, just up from the Octagon at 15 Princess Street. Dine-in, takeaway and delivery. I don't know what it is about the phrase loaded fries for me, but it's like all loaded fries are is that you've got the two things on your plate. There's fries there, there's whatever else, and you put that whatever else on top of your fries. But suddenly it's just made that meal just so much more appealing to me. I don't know if it's the same for you. Like for me, it's loaded fries. I mean, they have me at fries, Richard. But yes, exactly. But loaded fries. Like, all you've done is just tipped your other stuff on top of your fries. Anyway, it can't be bad, can it? No, can't be bad at all. So, are you paid?
Is what you do a paid position? Because you or have you created this? Because you approached at the beginning. You said you approached the university about having a Wikimedian in residence.
Yes.
Right. So is that just you're just so interested in encyclopedias and information that you just devote all your life to feeding the internet with data, or are you earning some coin out of this and
how does it work?
Being recompensed?
Yeah. I am being recompensed. So, but the way it works is that I created that position. So, I am funded.
If I went to the university and said that they needed...
No, not by the university. So,
I see. Right.
Right. So this is what I mean by I created it. So I went to Wikimedia Aotearoa New Zealand. So they're our group for Wikimedia, our organisation. We've been an affiliate chapter. I'm going to say this one. And they have money available. So they receive money from the Wikimedia Foundation, which is the international organisation that runs the servers and employs the staff that keep the whole system running.
Yep.
But the Wikimedia Foundation doesn't do content. That's not their job. Content is volunteer driven.
Yep.
So the Wikipedia community creates the content and has its own policies and rules and stuff. The foundation doesn't get involved in that. But the Wikimedia Foundation takes the donations. Okay, off the front page, people that donate to Wikipedia, it's handled by the Wikimedia Foundation, and they then distribute that money to individual groups in countries and so on through grants. So we had a grant to the New Zealand, Wikimedia Aotearoa New Zealand, and I applied to them for funding to be Wikimedian in residence at the university. And so they gave me a grant, and the university agreed to host me. So that's how I'm paid. But I'm not paid to edit. Creating content isn't the job. The job is to engage with people about how Wikipedia works, explaining the community and the system and the processes and how they could work with it and use it and read it critically and things like that.
So what were you doing before this?
I was working as a volunteer doing this kind of thing.
And before that, what's your
my background? So originally when I came to New Zealand, so I'm British originally.
I won't hold that against you. You can tell I'm from Essex.
Right. I came out here when I was finishing writing up my PhD. And I knew I didn't really want to do research, but I ended up working for Landcare Research, Manaaki Whenua, in their research office doing funding proposals and managing grants and contracts and things. And that was we lived in Christchurch, so I was working up at Lincoln. And then my husband got a job down at the university here instead. So we moved down, and at that time I had a 3-month-old baby, and I found myself, I was working on contract for a while, and discovered myself, I was breastfeeding on a bar stool in a rental house with dial-up internet, trying to edit a document and take part in a call all at the same time. And I was like, this doesn't work. So
best place for Zoom calls, bathroom.
I was in the kitchen because I had to have my computer tethered to the
plug into the phone line.
plug. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, those were the days. But yeah, I found working with a young baby very difficult. So I stopped working for a while, and that's basically when the kids went to school. So 2 kids, quite a few years later, kids were at school, and I was sitting at home and went, I could edit Wikipedia, and so it grew into a massive hobby, quite frankly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you create a job for yourself by going back to them and saying, hey, look, I'm really good at this. Yeah. Why don't you let me go and sit around the university?
Well, it's not so much I'm really good at this. It was more I need more people to understand how this works. And, there's only a small number of people that are really interested in editing Wikipedia and contributing their content. But you've got to talk to a lot of people to find who those people are, right? So it was about having someone in Dunedin who's publicly doing this stuff so you can find who else is interested and explain to people how they can benefit. Like if you're doing research that's publicly funded and of public interest and you're trying to engage other people in what you do, Wikipedia is a massively read website. You should be looking to see, is your work cited? Is there a page that, that your work could be cited on?
Am I on Wikipedia? I'm all over bloody Google, and I know that much. Like if you Google me, it's like quite hilarious because Yeah, of all the things I've done, but I don't know if I've ever made it.
There was a page for the local, the
my
last
name
by-election.
my name would
Your
be on
name
it.
will be on
Will
that
be on
because of
that,
the
yeah.
I made that page for
I just wonder if there'll be if you click on my name when you go, it's like you just be like, sorry, mate, nothing to say here. Just
Yeah, so there's a certain amount of coverage that people need to have before they'll. You asked me this question earlier, and I kind of sidestepped it, not deliberately, but there was just more to explain first. So yeah, we have this whole notability criteria about people, which sounds terrible, but really it just comes down to the amount of press coverage about them. It comes down to, all these other things in the world saying this person is important before we can make a page about someone. That
not
will
just
stick.
them saying they're important.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, a certain amount of newspaper coverage, but, not just in local newspapers or local media on a national level. So, if we take one of the earlier examples, Benedict Ong, somebody created a Wikipedia article for him when he sort of first started getting into the news for acting unusually. And it was moved back into draft space after being published because other editors didn't think that he necessarily had the national coverage to make him notable enough. And, and then as his career has progressed and he's got more coverage outside of Dunedin media, I think that page has been republished relatively recently.
So you're just saying I have to work harder at it. It's basically,
you need to increase your profile. Yeah.
If I increase my profile anymore, my wife will probably leave me. And she's like,
well, we don't want that.
Exactly. Well, she might want that. I've got no idea. We haven't had the discussion. Maybe that's today's discussion.
Does she listen?
She listens to the show. Yeah, she does. She's my biggest fan. And she does listen. She catches up with all the shows, which is fantastic. But it's like. Where was I going with this? I got no idea anymore.
Increasing your profile.
Yeah, not that I want a Wikipedia page. It's just that I guess that there's.
It's a double-edged sword.
But no, that's what I was going to go. So someone's sitting there listening, kind of going, "That's bloody interesting." This, like, I love what Tamsin is saying, and I've always been interested in Wikipedia. Like, is there a way that they listening can get involved? And if so, how do they do that?
Absolutely. Well, one great way is to come and drop in and see me. So I'm based in the Central Library at the university. I have a little wiki corner, so I'm in the west end of the library, underneath the stairs, a bit Harry Potterish. And I have a Wikipedia banner, so you can sort of find where I am. So they can drop in and see me. I'm there most mornings. But we also have a regular get-together for Dunedin editors. So that's a Friday lunchtime. Again, it's in the west end of the Central University Library. And it's just a drop-in. You don't have to come. It's, 12:30 to 1:30 every Friday. Just come, chat, talk to other editors, find out what people are working on. It's very casual. I provide biscuits.
I'll be there.
Excellent. Yeah, come. We'll solve your problem with what was the change that needs correcting.
Yeah, I'm more thinking how many editors does Dunedin have? Like in the sense of like they obviously come and drop in to see you.
Yeah, it's so we have probably a pool of 7 or 8 people who've been more than once. So we're a relatively small group, but we meet every single week. So it's actually, this is a more regular meeting than anywhere else in the country.
Yeah.
And most weeks we're 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
But there's some very long-term editors, some very well-established ones who wrote lots of the very early Dunedin pages who don't come to meetups. It doesn't suit them.
Yeah.
So we know they're there and we know they edit and they are Dunedin-based, but you're allowed to be anonymous on Wikipedia. It's absolutely fine. So the fact that we know they're in Dunedin is because they've revealed that much, but you don't even have to say that.
Right.
There could be one of the world's most prolific Wikipedia editors in Dunedin, and if they didn't choose to identify themselves, we wouldn't know. And that's fine.
Yeah. No, fair enough. I'm just thinking if I can find out who they are, and then I can get them on the show and just tell them how my notoriety could then increase, and then my notability could then. I'm playing the long game here, Tamsin. That's what I'm thinking, because then then you got people like Damien Newell. He's bound to have a page because he's like radio host and stuff. So if I can get above Damien.
Yeah, it's surprising who doesn't have a page. Like you'd often think, so-and-so must have a page, they've got a high profile, and you look and they don't. And it's just chance because we are a small community of editors in New Zealand.
Yeah.
We've got, I think at the moment, sort of around 50,000 pages that we look after. And so there's...
So can people suggest pages? So can people come to you, or your group, and go, you really should have a page on Richard Knights?
Yeah, so there's a Wiki Project New Zealand page on
Right.
Wikipedia. You have to look with it. If you put into the search box WP : and then NZ, you'll find the project page. And for the talk page there, you can suggest pages that we should have that we don't have. So you can just make a little comment, and somebody will go and provide me some sources probably. But yeah, we know we have gaps because we're volunteers. Everyone works on what interests them.
Yeah.
So I happened to want to work on women professors and closing that gap, but other people want to work on historic churches or New Zealand artists, or we have some prolific New Zealand artists that work on other things entirely, not New Zealand subjects. That's fine. We work on what we want to work on.
And that's where we're going to have to stop. I told you we were running out of time.
We did.
It's been fantastic. It's been a very eye-opening conversation. If you just sit there while we ran the show out, but lovely to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard.
Well, that's a wrap for this week. Thank you for tuning in. I've been Richard Knights, and you've all been wonderful. Remember, if you're looking for a robust, respectful outlet debate about all things local and further afield, and a welcoming online community that doesn't take itself too seriously, come and find What's News Dunedin on Facebook and join our fun. On next week's show, we're talking to Zach Nichols from the Amped Music Project, and we look forward to seeing you next Friday at 12 on OAR FM. And if you want to listen to the show again or simply share it with your friends, you can find the podcast at oar.org.nz, or even on Spotify, YouTube, or your favourite podcast provider.
This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.